So for this section of factoring, we are using these rules for trinomials, which are 3 terms. Remember last time we talked about terms are separated. Separated by plus or minus signs. So you look at x squared plus 8x minus 20. We've got a plus sign here. We've got a minus sign here. That tells me I have 3 separate terms. 3. Over here, I have a minus sign, and then I have a plus sign, so we have 3 terms. Now, what we are doing is we are going to figure out what multiplies together to give us x squared, what multiplies together to give us negative 20, but when we add them up, we get the middle term, 8x. That's what we're going to do today. We're going to figure out, over on this one, we're going to figure out what multiplies together to give us x squared, what multiplies together to give us 81, and then after I multiply them together, in the middle, those 2 middle terms have to add up to give me negative 18x. So you'll notice that these are just worked out examples. We're going to actually do them. But you'll notice on this one, when the 2 factors that we got are exactly the same, we did write them squared. So we're unmultiplying everything. And you guys, for your assignment last night, you were going forward. You were multiplying before we got here. There's a couple tricks, and we talked about this last class when we were talking about patterns. If we have 2 positives, when we do our factors, in the parenthesis, both of them will be positive. If we have 2 positives, when we factor it, we'll have 2 positives when we're done. If we will have ax squared and then minus bx plus c. So if the b is minus, but the c is positive, when we factor it, we will have minus, minus. They'll both be minuses. And then if we have ax squared plus bx minus c, or if we have ax squared minus bx minus c, in both of these cases, c is negative. In both of these cases, c is positive. If c is negative, then we will have 1 plus and 1 minus. So the C value tells us if we have same signs or different signs. C is positive. We have same signs. If C is negative, we have different signs. So to be good at this, you have to know things like, number 1, what signs will we have when we factor this out if they both start as positive? What signs will be in my parentheses when I'm done? They're both plus signs. First step. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at 12. And I'm going to say, what two numbers could possibly multiply together to give me 12? Corey?
6 times 3.
Not 6 and 6.
No, 6 times 2.
Oh, did you say 2?
Yeah.
It didn't sound like it. All right, so 6 times 2 is 1. What else? 4 times 3? What else? 12 times 1? So those are my possibilities for making 12. What we multiply together to give us 12 are these numbers. Now this is a little bit easier question now. What about the first term? What can I multiply together to give me x squared? X times x? Oh, that's it. Okay? And then this first term here, what multiplies together to give the first term goes in these first spots. So this is called guess and check, and sometimes it's more obvious than others. This one should be an easier one to guess and check. So we're going to guess what goes in the spots, and then we're going to check it. So I'm guessing. I really am not guessing. There's only one obvious answer. It's got to be x and x in that first spot. Like, that's the only possibility for this. It's got to be x and x. Excuse me. But now, the second part is what can multiply together to give us 12? We have 3 options. You care if I do it wrong first? Okay. I'm going to do it wrong. You can watch. Or if you want to do it wrong and erase it, that's fine too. But I'm doing it wrong. I'm telling you that on purpose. Let's say I say that x and x, and then I'm say 12 is, oh, well, that's 1 and 12. Right? Now what we have to do to check, so this is the guess step right here. Now what we do to check is we are going to multiply the outside numbers and the inside numbers together. So I'm going to multiply the x and the 12, which is 12x. I'm going to multiply the 1 and the x, which is 1x. And then I have to add them because they have like terms, because they are the same variables to the same exponents. And what is 1x plus 12x? 13x. Is that 8x? It is not. So I have done it wrong. Okay? So now, do you guys know what the answer should be?
6 and 2.
It should be 6 and 2. So go back and do it correctly. Now, I did it wrong because they're not all that easy. And I want you to see that if you do it wrong, all we have to do is erase or hit undo a million times like I'm doing. Let's try that again. We're going to try it with 6 and 2 or 2 and 6. It doesn't matter which one's in the spot. And then we are going to check, because sometimes we just accidentally make a mistake. So we are going to check. I'm going to multiply these together, and I get 6x. I get 2x. And when I add them, do I get 8x?
Yes.
Yes. So I got to check. So my final factored answer is x plus 2, x plus 6. Okay, let's try B. So we look at question B. The first thing that I look for is what signs I'm going to use. And the C, that plus 12, is going to tell me the signs. If that is a positive, it's going to tell me same sign. So they're either both plus or both minus. So since it's the same sign, I will look at this number here. This negative 8x is telling me which sign they are. So which sign are they? Negative. So I know that for sure. What also I know for sure is that x times x is x squared. So this has to be x and x here. Has to be. What I don't know for sure is the 12. So I know it could be 12 and 1. It could be 6 and 2. It could be 4 and 3. So if you have absolutely no idea about looking like ahead at math, you just stick some numbers in there and multiply and see if it's right. But you guys are pretty good. What numbers do you think I should put in there? 6 and 2? We are still going to check our answers to make, we're still going to check our answers to make sure. So I'm going to do the outside, which is 2x, minus 2x, and the inside, which is minus 6x. Do those add together to give us minus 8x? Yes. So our final factored answer is x minus 6 and x minus 2. Okay, the next one, I'm going to make 2 parentheses, and I'm going to look at the signs. And in this next one, the C sign, the C is negative. That means we have different signs. Means we have different signs. It's still going to be x and x because my first term is still x squared. But 20, I haven't, oh, we did list 20s. See, 20s could be 1 and 20, 2 and 10, 4 and 5. And I asked you guys this earlier. Is there a possibility, is there a way to make an 8? There is. But in this case, we want to make a minus 8. So because we want to make a negative 8, the bigger number has to be the negative. So out of the 2 and the 10, which one has to be the minus sign? The 10 has to be the minus sign. So we have different signs. The 10 gets the negative. But we're going to check it just in case we make a silly mistake because that happens all the time. We get negative 10x. We get positive 2x. Do those add together to give us negative 8x? Yes, they do. So we will have our final answer of x plus 2, x minus 10. Ooh, I got a question about that one. What if somebody wrote their answer as x minus 10, x plus 2? What if somebody wrote their answer like that? It would be the same. Because when you multiply, it doesn't matter what number comes first. So these numbers, the parentheses are like numbers. We just don't know what x is. So it doesn't matter which factor comes first. What if somebody wrote their answer like this? What if somebody wrote their answer like that? Amar? That would be a positive 8, so would this be correct? That would not be correct. You would get it wrong. Oops. Okay. All right, we got one more of these. You guys want to try it? Try that one on your own.
what happens. Make sure you do your check step. Okay. So if I multiply negative 6 times negative 2, do I get a negative 12? One of them's going to have to be plus if we have a negative 12. Yeah. See how we're different signs up there? Yeah. You get it? No. You don't see how it works? Nobody's got it yet? So here's your check. You have 2 minus 6. That's not negative. Did you get it? No? Did you get it? No? Oh my gosh. What is going on? Yeah. All right, one person got it correct. It's not factorable. It's a prime number. Remember, there's prime numbers. Remember I just said like a moment ago, I was like, this is mean. Because I was pretending the whole time there was an answer. No, this one didn't work. Some numbers are not factorable, like the number 3. What do you multiply together to give you 3? Just 1 and 3, but that means it's prime. You can multiply 1 times this thing, but it doesn't break down any further. So we might have, on occasion, a prime number. You can write prime, you can write not factorable. All right, now let's move on to things that might have answers. Okay, how about number 1? This time for real, there is an answer. Let's see if you can get number 1. You can work ahead of me. There's going to be a point where you get to some questions we haven't tried yet. But if you get number 1, try number 2. I'm going to pause the video for a moment. So not super long. Unpause the video. So I just wanted to say that what we had to do for number 3 is we had to take out the greatest common factor first, which was a 2. And then we did our factoring with x squared plus 2x minus 15. We checked our answer, and we made sure to put that 2 still in our answer. So number 4, the first thing that we're going to do is look for a greatest common factor. Is there a greatest common factor for number 4? There is not. So we'll just go straight into the factoring part. Both positive, so same signs. These are both x's, so x and x. My choices for 25 are 1 and 25. Or 5 times 5. What do you think we should use to give us a 10? 5 and 5? I am going to check it because occasionally there isn't an answer at all. Could be prime, or I just make silly mistakes. So I'm going to check it just in case. So I got a 5x here and another 5x. Yes, that does add up to be 10x. But this is not my answer. Does anybody know why this is not my answer? Yes. Yes, because they are the same, we will take it one more step, and we will put them together, and we will put the squared on the outside. Because we're trying to go back all the way like before you multiplied it out, and that's how I gave it to you originally, to multiply out. So you have to go all the way back to the squared. Oops. All the way back to the squared. Try number 5, try number 5, try number 5. See how fast you can do it. If you got number 5, try number 6. On number 6. Escribes. Watch that language. You're not adding a Y. Stick a Y in there, right? Okay. So number 5. Number 5, we are going to look for our greatest common factor, and there isn't one. The plus sign says same sign. This sign here tells me that they're both negative. They'll both start with Y, and then 49 is either 1 and 49 or 7 and 7. So I'm going to go with 7 and 7 and check it. That's going to give me minus 7Y, minus 7Y, which is minus 14, telling me that my answer is correct. But since they are exactly the same, we have to write them as squared. Okay. It was number 6 that a lot of people were struggling on. Bless you. So number 6, it's going to be the same way. We're going to start with 2 parentheses. Wait. Is there a greatest common factor? Is there a greatest common factor in all 3 terms? Corey? What's the same in all 3 terms? No. There's nothing that's the same in all 3 terms. So there's not a greatest common factor, but I always have to check. And then right here, this is a plus sign, which tells me both signs are the same. And the minus sign up front tells me they're both going to be minus. So then what do I multiply together to give me x squared? Well, x and x. That's my only option. But then my last term is a little bit trickier because we have a 16 and we have a y squared. So to get a y squared, it has to be y and y. But to get 16, it could be 1y and 16y. Could be 2y and 8y. Could be 4y and 4y. So the difference with this one is there's also a y in it, but it's okay. And then as I'm looking ahead, what out of these 3 options could I use to maybe possibly get a 10? The 8 and the 2. So let's check those. 2y, 8y. So I'm going to check those. I'm going to multiply 8. I'm sorry, x negative 8y. So that's going to be negative 8, and I write them in order x, y. And then in the middle, I've got negative 2y times x, so that would be negative 2xy. When I add them together, I get negative 10xy. So that one does work. So that will be my answer. All right, next question. What should we do first? Yell it out loud. Greatest common factor. Apparently only one person knew that. What is the greatest common factor? 2. So we're going to factor out the 2. X squared plus 10x plus 16. Now, that 2 is going to stay in my answer. I do not want to forget about that 2. But now we're going to move on and factor just x squared plus 10x plus 16. I look at my signs, and that tells me that both plus. Both start with an x. 16, that could be 1 and 16, 2 and 8, 4 and 4. What should we choose? Are you having too much fun factoring? Yes. You answered that wrong. Wait. It's not too much fun. It's just fun. I don't know what I was going to say. Never mind. So it does work. Okay. We're almost done. Number 8. Is there a GCF? Besides 1. A number other than 1. No GCF? Okay. So then we have to factor it. I'm going to look at my signs. Looks like they're both plus, so we're going to have 2 plus signs. Now for this one, I've got a 2x squared. I haven't had that yet. This is my first one with the 2x squared. To get 2x squared, you will multiply by 2x and an x. That's how you get 2x squared. We're going to do 2x and an x. It's your only option. To get 3, what do I multiply? So now we have to guess and check. Where's the 3 go? Where's the 1 go? Anybody have an idea? What should go here? 1? Okay, so now I'm going to multiply it back together. So that was guess. This is check. I get 1x plus 6x. Does that give me 5x? Does not. Then I'm wrong. I should quit. No. Just erase. Oops, that's not the eraser. So it can't be 1 then 3. What if it's 3 then 1? You saying no, Amar? You doubting me? So if I do 3 then 1, and I multiply my outside, I get 2x, and my inside, I get 3x. And what's 3x plus 2x? 5x. Do you see how, when there is a number in the very front and in the very back, now it truly kind of becomes guess and check because it's not as obvious. So this is the correct answer. And I made a mistake at first, and I erased, and I moved on and did it right. How about the next one? We've got 10x squared minus 17x plus 3. This plus sign tells me what? Same sign. And because it's the same sign, the minus sign tells me which sign. Okay, I know I got that right. For 10x squared, we could have 1x and 10x, or we could have 2x and 5x. For 3, 1 and 3. So now we're going to guess, and we're going to check. So when I'm thinking through this, I always say, well, 1 and 3 is my only option. Like, I don't have 1 and 3 and something else. It's only 1 and 3. And they're both minus signs, so it doesn't really matter which one I make 1 and which one I make 3, because they're both negative. So I'm just going to play around with the 10. So let's say I put a 10 and a 1. That's going to give me negative 30. Minus 1, nope, that's not 17. So I didn't even finish that one. I knew it wasn't right. So maybe it is 1x and 10x. That'll give me 3 and 10. Nope. That's not right either. So it's not 1 and 10, it's got to be 5 and 2. Did you guys figure it out yet? Because you're watching me make all the wrong mistakes. I mean, you're watching me do it wrong. Did you figure it out your own? Or are you just working with me? Did you figure it out? Sierra, did you figure it out? Not yet? Ryan, did you figure it out? You think so? Well, if you check it, you should have a little bit more confidence than maybe. What if I did 5x here and 2x here? That's going to give me a minus 15x and then a minus 2x. And yes, that does equal the minus 17x. So now I know I'm correct. I don't know where that big line came from. If your work is super messy, like I feel like this one was kind of messy for me, you can always rewrite it. There we go. Okay, try number 10.
Yeah, there's something in the last page. I don't know why there's a last page. Let's read it. You already did that.
What can you do number 10? So it's not quite right. Did you get number 10? What's your answer? That's your check. Okay, it's not quite right. Did you get number 10? Good. Not quite right. Did you get it, Sophie? Did you get it, Sophie? No. Very good. Okay, so not quite So almost, just there's something small, not quite right. There you go. Very good. All right, so they're both plus. To get 4, you have either 1x and 4x, or you have 2x and 2x. So you get 2 different options for that. And to get 9, either 1 and 9 or 3 and 3. So we potentially could be kind of busy here guessing and checking. A lot of people opted for 2x and 2x right away and 3 right away. I saw a lot of you just go for it. And if I check that, I get 6x plus 6x, which does equal 12x. But this is not the correct answer. Why? Emma, why? Sorry, Emma, I thought maybe you knew. Because it should be written squared. It should be 2x plus 3 squared. Because there's 2 of them, they're the same, we're going to write it squared. Okay, I have only given you one assignment today. We only covered one section today. Because it is very important that you have the worksheet that was due today completely done and the next worksheet completely done, because this topic gets used over and over and over and over and over again. This and transformations are what makes up Algebra 2 throughout the whole year. And then you go on and take a math class past this one, you're going to do this stuff again. So it's a very important topic. I want you to work on this worksheet. You guys have a good 34 minutes left of class. I want you to work on the worksheet that goes with this and ask questions if you have them. We don't usually get that much time to work on it. If you want to, ask, kind of collaborate with friends, that's fine too. But we need to be working on the math until you're completely done. All right? Good job.